Epic bumper.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to In the Studio. We have some new fancy production features, but welcome back. We've got episode 9 here, and we've got a slew of new hosts. Of course, this whole thing powered by cloud services, dedicated server hosting, all that good stuff. Give them some love and check them out if those are services you're looking for. But this is another special TI episode. Road to TI will continue on here in episode 9, and we're going to have a slew of different hosts to get things started. I'm Zyori. You recognize me. Here we've got Conrad. He's the man behind the curtain for D2L, amongst other things at Evil Geniuses. We've got Cinderin, all the way from the EU, joining us here at the American Hub. Well, okay, move over. Good. All right, we're golden. And far on the left here, we've got Suns fan.
Hello.
What's up, buddy?
Hello.
That's
Great to be here.
That's your standard introduction, right?
This is my standard introduction. I'm the most unprofessional person here, so I really appreciate the.
Doesn't say a lot.
You know what?
That doesn't say a lot.
I don't know. I picked an interesting medley of people here between Conrad and Suns fan. I don't know. We're in for
Should be good.
a bumpy ride.
Oh
so,
boy.
Oh boy. Oh Jesus. So these will be our hosts for part 1. For part 2, we'll have K-Poptosis coming on. AC and Fear are also here. They're the men behind the curtain, quite literally waiting for their turn. And then in the last section, we'll have LD probably coming on. Basskip will be joining us, and I think one of the High Ground TV guys there in the upstairs studio doing ADL coverage right now. So we've got people all over the place. Dota casters coming out our ears. First up, though, we're not talking TI. We're talking news. And first on the docket, Revenge. They had some roster issues, but everything worked out. Old Revenge is now the new Revenge.
Which is the same as the old Revenge, though. So
Yes.
I mean, what does that actually mean, right?
So it means right now their current roster is Smash, Mihawk. I don't know why I keep inching away from Conrad. This is too much. So we've got Smash, Misoku, Mihawk. Help me out here, guys. Mystico. No, they got rid of
And Koikwa.
Ewo.
And
Koikwa.
that insight and
Wait,
analysis.
no, it's it's Ben Jazz, Smash, Mystico, Mihawk, Misoku.
Yes.
That's their 5 right now. Y'all are the everyone's confusing me. Too many
I'm just a
people.
production guy.
You're just
I don't know what's
production
going
guy.
on.
You're supposed to be bailing me out here, Conrad. So, and Ewo is back to Union Gaming. That's kind of what started this whole thing off, because you're not allowed to change rosters and all that stuff, and that was the whole reason Revenge dropped out, was because they had to change their roster and they weren't so happy about that. So what does that mean for the team, guys? Like, are we counting out Revenge? How serious of a contender are they here in the
I mean, a lot of their
qualifier?
players are, nice and solid. They're really good. They're really good players, but I think the biggest thing I'm worried about is actually going to be their team synergy at this time.
Mhm.
Without Smash leaves the roster, and that's just going to end up being like, how would I say it? It's more with them.
Camera's up there, dude.
I'm thinking. I'm looking down here. So long story short, I just think there's going to be some roster issues. Obviously, Smash left for a reason, and with him leaving and him coming back just for this qualifiers, I don't know how well they're going to be doing in this situation.
That's fair enough. Cinderin, what do you think?
I don't know what to think, to be honest. I'm a little bit confused. This is like, so you have a roster, and then you decide you remove someone from the roster, and then you get kind of forced into a situation where you end up having to take them back.
Yeah.
And then it's like an all or nothing thing. And I think, what was it? It was Ben Jazz who was supposed to be off the roster, right?
I believe so.
And
yeah.
I think he said in an interview that he was doing this not for his team, but he was strictly doing it for his country. That's kind of, he wanted South America to be in the qualifier. So that was his motivation, I think. I'm pretty sure I saw that.
That's nice.
It's like, which is a great motivation, but at the same time, does that mean, like, for him it's a personal goal?
Mhm.
The whole team structure, is that really there? Or can they unite based on his motivation to do that? Is that enough for them all? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a little
That's a good question.
strange situation.
A lot of people have talked about Revenge as basically Smash plus 4. He's their mid player. I think he's their drafter, right? Is he? I'm
I
actually
don't
not
think
sure.
so. I
don't
want to
think
say
so,
I want to
no.
say Mystico's their
Mystico's
drafter.
the
so, too,
drafter.
yeah.
I've forgotten.
Mystico ends up captaining the team, and I think he was also the one that sort of was known to make the decision for that situation.
Okay. And Smash is a player that makes big plays, but he also has consistency issues. He's not tearing it up every single game. Is it fair to call them Smash plus 4? What do you think, Suns fan?
I think they're great. Larry, thank you so much for asking. Actually, I don't know if you guys were watching the stream yesterday, but in fact, I don't know if this is supposed to be public knowledge, but I'm just gonna, Aaron, AC Chambers, and who was it? Was it K-pop? Okay, they had a little bet going. I'm surprised you remember K-pop, to be perfectly honest. Anyway, they had an inebriated bet of sorts. I can't remember who was going. Was it AC thinks Revenge is going to win the whole thing?
He
that right?
says either win the whole thing or top 2
Yeah.
for sure.
Okay.
Top 2
Yes.
for sure.
Yeah.
Who was Sna and Revenge? Those were his top 2, I think, right? Or have I? No,
wanna-
not Sna. Was it Nar?
I want to say. I
North
think he's.
American
I want to
Rejects?
say he
I
said
think it's Nar-
Revenge Team
Nar.
Liquid.
Nar.
Did he say
Was it
I
Liquid?
don't know.
I want to say. I want to say
He
so.
said- he
We'll
said
see in
Revenge
part
top
2.
two
We'll
for
get to
sure,
bring him on
right?
and grill him.
Yeah, yeah. Give
And
him,
what was
give him,
it,
give
what was
him
it
the lowdown.
K-pop said?
I don't remember.
What did you
K-pop
say?
agreed with.
Snan,
Yeah, no,
okay.
it's NAR and Snan.
And what was
So
the bet?
neither had. I
That's
don't
the
think
right
neither
order.
had either had Team Liquid then in top 2.
Yeah.
Okay, so what was the bet they made?
So
the loser
yeah,
gets
there was
to-
some sort of karaoke battle, I believe, if I'm
Yeah.
not
Oh,
mistaken.
geez.
Oh boy.
Which is
Shots
a
of
real dream
bitters.
for everyone involved.
It's even better. Then we can make something up.
Yeah, we can make something up.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
You actually bet something way worse than you think.
Well, so do you guys think that Revenge are contenders for top 2 in the American qualifier for TI?
Well, okay. Being a contender is one thing. Winning it's another. So yes,
Okay.
they're a contender.
Do you think they will get top 2? Maybe not first, but top 2.
That's tough to say because of the roster changes, you know.
Exactly.
Which is why
that's
we're having
it's a
this
good
conversation,
question.
I suppose. All right, I'll say
You're really good at
probably
this.
second place. Probably. I think they can do.
You think
top
they
2.
can do it?
Yeah,
All
I
right,
think they
Cinder,
can
what
do
do you think?
Maybe top 4.
Maybe top 4.
Because I think that that team, because of what happened, I'm not sure if we can really believe in them. To be honest, I
Okay.
think if they were going to play with their new roster and everything that they've been developing, and it was stable, I would have chosen them for top 2 as well. I just think like the Revenge we saw recently was actually doing really well, and then the whole thing that's just been shuffling everything up. I think it's going to be hard for them to recover in such a short amount of time. Like, what's
Yeah.
their preparation time? When were they confirmed for TI qualifiers? 2 days ago? 3 days ago?
Something like that.
So you have less than a week to prepare with a guy who's not really in your roster anymore, and then you have to play that, and then
I feel like having a wild card is kind of good in tournaments like this or qualifier because these
Was it a
aren't
good
tier.
wild
These are
card or
not
not?
tier 1 teams.
Yeah,
Let's
but
be honest.
I was going to
here.
say that they were already the wild card before this change, and now like with this change, I mean, I think they're going to be top 4, but other than that, I don't think they're going to be top 2 in any situation here. NAR, Sna, and even Team Liquid are just looking much better than them at this moment.
Yeah.
But what about EHUG? We're going to talk about EHUG.
What
but
about
you know
them?
Let's
Can't
talk
wait.
about
You
EHUG
tell
up
me,
next.
dude.
So some of y'all might have been on Reddit today. I know how you BTS fans love yourselves some /r Dota 2. The EHUG management reaching out for a little bit of help. The experts, the coaches, all of the top tier 7K MMR players are going to lend a hand and give their advice to EHUG via Reddit.
Hey man, I'm a 3K like MMR player, but I'm pretty sure like Theorycraft are like a 6K MMR guys. So like I don't really know what's going on here. But I don't think this is the right decision.
So
I
what's your
mean,
advice, Solo Mid Bloodseeker?
Obs, dude.
It's really good.
Into
every
straight
game,
four
right?
stuff, screw boots. You don't even need those. Like, no. I mean, in this situation, it's very awkward because I mean, I don't think the players necessarily were looking out for this sort of situation. And how is that beneficial if the players aren't going to be the first ones on board on this?
It's just it's a public outcry. It's basically just telling the world like, guys, we don't know what to do, so we're just gonna ask anybody with a voice for what heroes do you think we should draft today?
Guys, we need an e-hug.
Man, that was a
that was a,
that was good.
that was
That
a
was my
zinger.
level.
Whoa.
I love those.
Hey, don't leave me hanging. Yes. There we go.
Love that.
I'm with
no,
this
I-
guy.
what is this?
This is the new casting combo, dude.
We're good.
Okay, all they really need to do is have Jigabilly play Pudge. We all know he's the best Pudge in the world. It's
Have they
not
drafted him
contested
Pudge
anyway.
at all? Like, has he played it at all in a competitive game? Not that I've seen, but I don't keep up with all of
He's
EHUG's
not playing
matches.
mid, so he's
Not
typically
recently,
playing
that's for
carry.
sure.
So
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, just give me them
No,
deuces.
he said. Okay, he did tell me that he switched to the mid role. I don't know if that's consistent or not, though. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did.
They
I think Pudge
fluctuate.
it's a good wild card. I love wild cards, so that's a word I'm just gonna keep bringing up in every sentence. So
All about
wild
wild
card.
Dude, this insight for the
any-
qualifiers
so
is so
good.
good.
It's a wild card. Is what it
Anyway,
is.
to be serious though, I think what were we talking about again?
EHUG posting on Reddit looking
That was
for
a good
advice.
transition.
Thank
to
you.
say that. So yeah, I think what they're doing is actually something. I think Mushi kind of did the same thing at one point with DK. When DK had a rough time, he was like, "I don't understand this version. I need help." And he actually wrote. I think it was on his fan page. He did the same thing. He was like, "If you guys have some creative ideas or something, let me know if there's something you can help us out with." I think shortly after that, they started getting better. If that was because he got suggestions or if he just figured it out better, I don't know. But it's something we've seen before. And I think sometimes, regardless of what position you're in, asking the general community, you still need to be able to filter the responses you get because you need to be really critical about everything as you do with your own team, right? But at the same time, to me, it sounds like they need a coach. So they need an
agree completely.
outside input that doesn't have to be the community. It doesn't have to be any specific person, but someone who can look at their game, understand what they're doing wrong, and try to help them out. Because
Are you available?
it sounds like
for
they.
that, by
Yeah,
any chance?
I'm actually totally available right now. I'm not going to do any work here, so
Yeah.
Okay.
I can.
Well, that's the
And
big
I'm really biased too.
Yeah.
It's, in these qualifiers, I only help one single team. So
He gets paid on fast food and fast food alone, is what I hear. So
Delicious.
pretty cheap.
it's
you know.
good.
I mean, American fast food, of course. You
Yeah.
know, maximize that value. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
that in and out value. That's been suggested for EHUG though, that they need a coach. I brought it up in maybe 2 episodes ago and in the studio, and the next question was, well, who's slated to do it? North America isn't exactly swimming with retired ex-pro Dota players looking to lend their coaching services.
I mean, somebody who's probably local in the area that doesn't play anymore is Beatus. Shout out to you, buddy.
Beatus.
But
Coach Beatus.
I don't
Freaking
know if I'd.
Beatus.
I don't know about those Beatus arrows, so we'll go from there. But you know, I mean, there's very few North American talent. I mean, somebody maybe like Tralf. You know, Tralf is
Yeah.
obviously really insightful player. Obviously a part of Podcast a long time ago. He would be a good coach for a North American team. Those are the two that would kind of come up. Obviously, Tralf I think would be the superior choice, but
Yeah.
you know,
Shots
just because
fired.
you tell me to look at the camera, dudes, doesn't mean I have to look at it.
Yeah, but EHUG are in some trouble right now, and you never know. Maybe they will be the wild card.
They're
here
my
coming
wild
into
card.
the qualifier.
They're my
They're
wild
your wild card.
They're my wild card to top 2.
Are they
I,
your favorite team in your compendium?
I don't think they're going to win. I actually don't even have a compendium yet.
Oh my god. All right, show's over.
Jesus, dude. Quick,
You're not
hit
purple?
the kill button.
I'm a bigger
kill button.
Julian than you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not.
Okay.
But no, I think EHUG is one of those teams that they are my dark horse to top 2. Because after we said who did we say for top 3? We kind of said Liquid, Sna,
Snar.
and Gnar. And then since we don't really think so highly of Revenge anymore, I guess EHUG would be my pick for top 4 then. And then if they have a good run at that point, maybe they can take one of the important games in the playoffs and get top 2.
Would you consider them a wild card by any chance?
Yeah, they're a wild card.
Okay.
They're a wild dark horse.
A horse. Okay. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
I can agree with that. I
Well,
don't think they're
well,
going to do it. Even though I love Jiggle Billy, but I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. Unless he
Just-
picks Pudge.
I guess if they win the qualifier, we're gonna have a clip of him yelling really loudly and then getting banned on Twitch. It's good.
He's
Yeah,
already
he
been
gets
there,
banned
dude.
for anything
he's on
these
Hitbox
days.
now,
My
man.
goodness.
Is he on Hitbox now?
Yeah, of course.
No way.
You guys don't fiend? Like,
Seriously?
I don't.
Uh,
I don't.
yeah.
I don't
He's
frequent
transitioned
Hitbox
fully.
that
He just
often.
got sick of getting banned every other week.
I think he might be permanently banned, dude.
Permanently?
Like IP.
That's
There,
pretty
there comes
legit.
a point where Jiggle Billy, we gave you 5 tries.
I'm actually worried that the EHUG guys can't stream because of this.
because of Jiggle.
Well,
just the Jiggler. He ruined it for everybody.
You tell me, dude.
No.
Why?
there's
How
no
would that
way.
make a difference? Just
All
like,
he
if you
does is-
live with
no.
Jiggle Billy,
If
you will not be on
if you're
Twitch.
IP banned,
Well, it's like no matter who streams
Proxies
in their
always
webcam,
exist.
they know
It's
Jiggle
true.
Billy's
I
gonna come
see.
on and ruin it, right?
Yeah. Jiggle Billy
So-
crashing the stream. I don't know. I'm not into the nuances of Jiggle Billy's stream status with Twitch. We'll have to call him up one of these days and
just ask him a question,
a
dude.
cameo
Get him
from
in the studio.
Jiggle Billy. Get him in the studio. Well done, Conrad. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. All right, moving forward, guys. We've got 2 more things we want to hit, and the first one was a little bit of controversy in Dream League today. EG versus Navi, and it seems like it's been pretty settled now, but for those of you that weren't watching or didn't see the lovely Reddit thread, it was filled with positive comments. EG was up about 3-1 at the 5-minute mark, somewhere around a 4K gold lead, it seems, and all of a sudden, Dendi was getting DDoS, disconnected. The rest of Navi followed suit, and they were going to remake the game from scratch, which obviously would have favored Navi a lot. There were some screenshots, and PPD was not having that, so they will be resuming the game off stream at the 5-minute mark, resuming the reloading the replay. So I don't know if it's really so much of a drama anymore. It seems like Dream League made the right choice, but they made the wrong choice initially, where they were actually going to reset the game, where EG had a pretty darn big lead in the first 5 minutes. Anybody care
I
to
feel like
comment?
sometimes decisions like while the game is running are sometimes like we have some experience with this, very little. It's mostly Cinder making the mistakes though. But sometimes you make a decision really quick and you kind of regret
We
it
are gonna make
after
our
you get some
duo.
backlash. And this was kind of one of those cases, I guess.
Definitely.
So in the end, they made the right decision, and no harm was done other than us talking about it on this show, I suppose.
Yeah, and I mean,
That's a bit.
Cinderance sucks, by the way.
yeah. So they did put out an official tweet that they'll be reloading. Poor Syndra. He just can't catch a break, man.
I mean, in this situation, one of the things I am worried about is that, obviously you can't really prove a DDoS, and why should we have to prove in the first place kind of thing. And
Yeah.
it's really disappointing that, these things sort of happen. But, it worries me that it's the circumstances of the game that was a shocking thing to me, with Na'Vi, if they win this, it goes into a 3-way tie. If EG wins this, they end up going to DreamHack. Of all the games for this to happen, it ends up being a little bit suspicious, and I don't know, it doesn't have like a really good taste in my mouth, sort of like what this might be.
Yeah, and it's one of those things because you don't want to be throwing out accusations. No, you weren't getting DDoSed, but at the end of the day, how do you prove it one way or another? You just have to take players, or maybe he's just lagging. Who knows if it's actually DDoS, or maybe there's a chipmunk chewing on a cable line somewhere, and it's you never know.
I hate it when that happens, dude. I hate it when that happens.
Those damn chipmunks in Ukraine. Maybe they don't have chipmunks out there. But you know, it's a bears. I don't know what animals they have in that part of the world, but something.
Pretty sure they have
similar.
pretty much the same animals.
Same.
Pretty
animals?
much.
Okay.
But yeah,
Give
I
or
think,
take,
Like
yeah.
regardless,
Give or take a bear.
the best solution is always to try to load.
Mm-hmm.
The
Yes, I
whole
think so.
the whole remake thing only comes into effect if you can't load. That should always be, that's why it was implemented. It's like it's a backup plan if things go wrong, right?
And that was
So they should try that first. Did they try that first before they decided?
what
to,
I heard was that they
suggest a
actually
remake?
ended up delaying the game. They were like, we're not going to continue this because apparently I don't know if they're behind schedule or if there was another issue, but I know that they wanted to try it post the other games.
Okay.
But apparently they were unable to due to scheduling conflicts. So
Okay.
Yeah, and also to be fair, some people were posting in the thread like shouldn't be really hating on Na'Vi necessarily because they didn't suggest, hey, let's start this over from scratch. That was Dream League's suggestion out of the gate, and then they corrected themselves. So maybe there was foul play, maybe there wasn't, but it's still one of these just tricky issues that I think is just going to get worse as more money's on the line and more things happen in esports, and just takes one of those less sportsman-like teams to, start pulling cables and.
start court stomping, man.
Yeah.
I'm at land.
Oh, as long as
All these damn Ethernet cables are so faulty here.
as long as the load function works, then
Yeah,
there's like a limit. The problem is there's been many times in the past where it just doesn't work. Like the game crashes or
I mean,
other
and
bugs.
And it seems
And
like
there
the
was
earlier
another-
on in the replay, the better it works.
Yeah, and there was another bug apparently where there was a courier bug when you disconnect apparently, and it ends up going to another location and it just keeps on going there, and there's no way to remove it. So apparently you got to hotkey it, or just because if you use the
That's
the
irritating.
hotkey just based on the courier thing, it doesn't work like that.
It's
so.
a suicide courier.
Yeah, that's pretty much what happened. So when Arteezy got the kill, it was like, oh, this is kind of suspicious. Like, how did this courier walk up to me and I killed it? Like,
Yeah.
Because he's Arteezy. It's
I mean,
amazing.
obviously.
Come on.
Artur.
Too easy.
Too easy.
So the last thing we want to hit is just an update about the summit. We have 2 more teams now finally joining us in the LAN here in sunny Los Angeles coming up on June 5th, and it's creeping up on us, folks. DK Na'Vi already invited. Vici was the second Chinese team to qualify. Now we have our 2 NA teams, the Evil Geniuses, as well as the North American Rejects. That's the Snake King, Fogged, Brax, 1437, and who's their other one that I'm forgetting? Snake King, Fogged, Brax, Korok. That's the one. Well done, Base Kip. Well done. So pretty exciting. Not too much to comment on here. Just more of an announcement. There's only 1 spot left. It'll be between Dog, Fnatic, and Power Rangers for the last EU slot. So I'm excited. It doesn't really affect you guys so much.
I'm
but
so excited. I can't
Thanks.
even begin to show my excitement.
Woo!
Who you taking then?
To take the LAN or for the
From
EU?
those 3, yeah.
The
No,
3
EU.
for EU?
Yeah.
That's a tough one. I don't think it'll be Power Rangers. Right now it's Fnatic versus Dog in the upper bracket, and the loser of that will play PR, right?
PR's in the winners bracket, or
no,
in the
I have it- I
losers
have it.
bracket?
I have it backwards. How do I have it?
I'm
Who has the
assuming
advantage?
PR's in the losers bracket. Who are the 3 teams again?
Dog, Fnatic, PR. Or
wanna
does that
say
mean
Do-
PR's in the winners
I
bracket?
want to say Dog is in the winners bracket.
Can anyone pull up this bracket?
Did Dog lose a game in the last 2
Summit.tv
weeks?
slash EU.
So. They've been playing so well lately, so that's why
I
I
don't
say-
recall Dog losing a game in 2 weeks.
that's why I'm thinking
So I
Dog's
think
in the
they're
winners
winner
bracket, and
right?
those other 2 in the losers. Loser
Maybe
plays the winner.
that's what it is. It's there. I had it open and now I can't. Sunsfan, you can pull it up. You have the magic computer, and then they can
You
pull it
don't
up on the stream,
Trust
and we
me,
can all
you
see it.
don't want me to
So
type
I'll spell
what
it
I wanna
out:
type in.
summit.beyondthesummit.tv/EU.
You have to type it out. You can't just click.
What you're supposed to type is Liquipedia.
Open the web browser.
I got it.
Okay.
I got it.
This
All right,
poor
so we
guy.
have.
Yeah, Dog Fnatic winner bracket.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just stole your thunder. I'm
So I think, not to steal your thunder, Syndrome, because I'm obviously the competitive insight here. Okay, so PR, I think they're really good. I don't think they're going to make it to the finals, though, or the grand finals, I should say. From Team Dog and Fnatic, I think you guys might agree. Fnatic, although they are my favorite team, and I think you and I have some history as far as Han's concerned.
I'm a self-admitted Fnatic fanboy.
I love them, but
I-
they're extremely inconsistent, and Dog's just been legit, so I'm going to have to go
Hells
with
yeah.
Dog. Yeah.
Yeah, Dog's been looking good. I think they're probably the favorites to take it. I like the Power Rangers boys, but they also suffer from consistency issues. But pretty exciting. I'm pumped up. Before we get into the second part, let's talk a little bit of TI4. We'll be switching hosts, so give you guys a little bit of time to talk about who you're taking for the qualifiers and all that good stuff. Compendiums were released, and quickly we'll have some numbers here. The prize pool has been growing like crazy, rising like yeast. We raised $1 million in the first 12 hours, which is pretty exciting. It's a 1 point. Boo. Boo?
Should have been more.
Should have been.
I'm the only guy here who didn't buy a compendium, right?
Says the
guy who didn't even buy one. Like,
if only you were there, Cinder. It's a
Yeah.
$1.6 million base, and I checked it right before the show, and we're up to $1.8 million increased.
That's so sick.
wow.
We're on the up and up, boys. That's 3 point.
Honestly, I thought I
Something.
knew it would hit. I said this in the video that we posted on DC. It would hit 4 million. I thought because they had more incentive than last year. Not that we're going to get discussed the specifics, because I know it's in the next segment. But like last year, you had to buy an extra compendium in order to contribute more. But now you actually have more incentive. So
Yeah.
I thought 4 million was realistic, but this is insane. So I think it's going to be over 4 for sure.
I think 5 is realistic. I think it'll
I
break
think so too.
5.
But the problem is like the freaking goals are. I'm not going to call them garbage, but they're not great past 4.
Pull them up and we'll look at them. You've got the magic computer. We've got the time.
Just
Yeah.
go to summit.beyondthesummit.tv.
Shut
Hopefully
up.
you can-
Shut up, Cinder.
Oh boy. So
All
is he the black sheep here, or do we all not like the stretch goals? I thought they were okay.
All right, so
I think
okay.
I just think there's nothing particular fancy about
I just
them.
want
It's
grill
like-
cam.
Chat emotes is
Dude, I'm
people love that
starving.
stuff. They eat that stuff off all the time.
Okay.
Mini Pudge Courier. It's been in the game for like 3 years.
Wait,
They're
go-
just gonna throw it in there. So okay, it was gonna be in the game eventually anyway.
New music.
New music. That's pretty cool. I
I'll
know
take that one.
there's been actually. I'm hoping that they use the workshop submission that we saw.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys saw the metal version of the
Yeah, that was
music.
pretty
It's
cool.
like,
They did
it's
like that?
legit.
yeah.
Oh, that's
So
really
if it's
cool.
like user submitted stuff, that's legit.
But I think
I
they're
mean,
gonna record
Otherwise-
I
themselves.
would love to have like
if it's
new con-
themselves,
love-
then
Really,
You never know.
new orchestrated content. You're not about.
no, it's fine. It's just I would prefer them to do user submitted stuff because
Why
the
not-
stuff's amazing.
Why not both?
All right. Anyway, moving on.
Porco knows.
New matchmaking, and this is another one people are kind of upset about because this is going to go in the game eventually anyway.
Was
Just
it
like-
1v1?
Like-
Cut back to it, guys. We're reading off your preview monitor, so you
Yeah.
gotta give us a second to read. Roland, calm down, slow down on the Red Bulls. All right, sorry.
Oh, shout out.
What?
Okay.
I prefer
One
As
v
he's
one.
drinking a water, like we can just all see it. Like
Nice try.
You sons of bitches. The sabotage. So 1v1 mid. Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with things that would have been released anyway, just accelerated a little bit. I think that's okay.
It's not the worst. Okay,
Cough
but
techies.
okay, these are the worst. Like, I'm not gonna call them the worst, but environmental effects and base customization are so general. Like, you have no idea what that even means.
Well,
you know, like, does
it's
that
gonna
mean? Does that
snow,
actually mean
dude.
top hats on
I'm
buildings?
down, dude.
If so, that's amazing, obviously. But aside from that, I don't know.
honest
You know, so I don't know. It's kind of up in the air. I thought it like the whole techies release thing from last year. I thought was pretty cool, even though it didn't hit it, obviously. But again, that's gonna go in the game already. So
Yeah, I mean, like the way I looked at that sort of situation is that the like series of the goals are actually pretty good, but like the last two were just like the most disappointing, like top tier
Yeah.
goals. Like, what does I mean? If it ends up being something really cool, I'm down. But I just don't see anything that fancy end up being happening.
what they should do is once you hit 6 million, then they actually distribute the money to all the teams involved in TI.
That would be nice.
I know Cinder would like that as he is playing in the international, obviously. So
Yeah.
actually, I feel bad now. No, you want a massage? Just like a half massage.
want to be replaced by someone else in the camera. No, so yeah, I think just realistically, you said 5 million.
I think breaking 5 million
Yeah.
is realistic. Yeah.
Can you bring up the progress so far, like the graph that Cyborg
Cyborgmat.com.
made one? I think
Oh, sure.
because if I think it's no matter what the stretch goals are, this is going to be my point. I think no matter what the stretch goals are, it's realistic that it follows the same pattern in terms of development.
Okay.
So I think the one last year was
Where
it
is it?
logarithmic or something, pretty much.
I don't know how to find this thing.
You
You go to the international.
there's one called the International, right? International 2014. Click the button.
Click the button.
Good job. Now you get the graph. There we go. Okay.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the comparison between TI4
Yeah,
and
that's
TI.
right down below. There
Ah,
we go.
okay.
So
yeah,
if you
that's
look at this graph right now, right?
Damn.
So the problem is this isn't zoomed so well, so we can see it really
Yeah.
effectively, right? But if we imagine this follows the same kind of pattern that
Mhm.
like this, then I think 5 million is not even going to be a problem at all.
Yeah. So you think it's
Uh,
closer to 6?
Yes.
Might be more.
And
of a
that last time was with the unupgradable compendium, right? So
Right.
That's
the
so
people who wanted to
important.
support more will just buy multiple compendiums, but now people will want to upgrade their compendium one way or another.
Right.
Many
I
will
think
do
if they
that.
hit
those
6
items.
million, they should add more goals that are actually good.
Techies.
Such as
Tech.
Oh, that's putting me on the spot.
I know. I know.
Alpine Ursa set for Pudge.
If these are
Ooh.
if these are so
Alpine
bad,
Ursa
what
for
is
Pudge.
good?
That's next level.
I had to think
Pudge
about
with
that
a cowboy
actually.
hat, and then his hook is a lasso.
That's
Dude,
an idea.
I remember that in the lore.
Shit, I just, man, I could have made a lot of money off that.
This close. This close.
But I don't know. I think, well, what's the development so far? How much did we make? Or how
The
much
price
did
of-
the
How
price
much should we make?
It's about to break
yeah.
3.9
I'm Gabe Newell.
million.
Okay.
It's at 3,850,000, something like that.
So,
You can,
I think
or
just,
no,
again,
oh, it's not that high.
those
I'm
graphs?
3.4 right now.
3.4. Oh, okay.
All right, I actually
that's
thought of
actually-
one. Okay, so if it hits 6 million, they have a contest. User submitted heroes, and they actually end up putting one of the heroes in the game, which isn't that big of a deal because you don't have to put it in CM.
Good point.
I mean,
But then
it's
you
for
gotta,
pubbing,
but then you
if
gotta
nothing
wait
else.
wade
And-
through a lot of crappy.
Yeah, no, that's
content.
true, sure. But
There's
I
a
mean,
lot
they
of
can have
suggestions
some kind of.
already.
I
There's
mean,
been so
like
many
Puck.
suggestions in
Originally,
Play
Puck
Dota.
was a user submitted
Oh, yeah.
hero, and that hero's amazing.
Ballin'.
So, I mean, there's definitely
Literally.
content out there. I think.
Like an energy ball.
You have a lot of faith in the community. You're all about the community submitted stuff.
Yeah, like when we put out sets, we ask for voting, so I think it's pretty
I haven't-
important. So.
what if we get a hero that's Diablo riding on a unicorn? What do you think? What game would
I
that?
think Heroes of the Storm already did that. I'm
Oh.
pretty sure, and it's a rainbow
Oh,
unicorn.
Okay.
If I'm not, yeah, it is.
Okay. Well, that could have. Else that.
Don't cross the genres.
It's the most realistic
that could
game
have
I've
been a
played.
good
I think.
idea.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. I'm gonna say 7.5 million.
7.5.
Okay, that's
Wow.
just insane.
That's huge.
I don't
Well,
know.
we'll see.
That's what she
We've-
said.
Think about how much we made in such a short amount of time.
I agree.
I said
But
we
it will-
again.
okay,
I
it will
maybe I
taper
am
off,
getting
though.
old.
we as the community.
Yeah.
the
As
first.
the person who didn't buy the config.
How long has it been? Like 2 days, something like that.
Think about all the
How
money
long?
I did
Actually,
use.
how long has it been? Has it been 48 hours yet?
I don't know, like 40, right?
40ish. Yeah.
The first week is going to be obviously the highest growth, and then it'll taper off to some degree.
I mean,
but
look at that graph, right?
obviously,
That's
there's
the-
more
is that the
incentive than
entire-
last year. Yeah.
So look at like the development. Sure, there was more in the beginning, but it's not.
It is substantial. I agree.
Yeah.
The rest of the time, like what was generated in the first 2 weeks was generated more in the remainder of the tournament than in the first 2 weeks. So by that logic, we're already way past 5.
Yeah.
So
I think that's
I think
true.
7.5 is actually realistic. But again,
Okay.
if they don't put up new stretch goals after the 6,
Then
maybe people are like, "What are we buying it for?" So
Yeah.
Honestly, that's not. I
know.
think they still will.
yeah, they
People
will.
aren't buying to increase the prize pool. A lot of these people.
Well,
I mean,
it's
let's
still
not kid ourselves.
an
I'm not
important-
buying more stuff because I want new weather effects. I'm just saying. I couldn't.
That
really
that
care
would be
less
good.
about weather
That would be
effects.
nice.
You like weather effects? Okay.
Yeah, why not? I mean,
Just,
and
it's
it's
not like
actually-
why care? I
it's
don't
not
know.
even.
Does it really?
It's not something other people see. If it's not something, it's just like them putting custom icons in the game now,
Yeah.
like specific spell icon. Nobody else sees it but you, unless they click on you. It doesn't even matter at that point. You
And
know?
then like if
Does
it's
it-
cold,
So-
if it's cold, you slide on the river.
Okay, that's
Game
already
play.
been done actually
Oh,
by Valve themselves
oh really?
and Heroes of the Storm.
Like slide maps, like Warcraft 3 style.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Frostivus.
Man,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I didn't
I'm
play
out of
Frosted. I
ideas.
didn't play
for-
I'm out of ideas. All right, that's it. Cinderin's tapped out.
Let's give more money, guys. That's all we need. Just give
More
more
money.
money.
Yeah.
More
Valve is
money.
clearly need it.
All right. Well, we're getting towards the end of our first segment here. The last thing I want to talk about: NA Hub versus EU Hub. I want to give you all the proper opportunity to explain why the NA Hub is vastly superior to the EU Hub.
We're terrible.
We're fucking trash, dude.
So bad.
Yeah,
That
I-
was
don't know.
very underwhelming, fellas. That was.
Well, we got Dota Cinema in the hizzy. I guess that's one thing that
Yeah, go Conrad.
EU Hub doesn't have. we actually converted a European to come to North America.
actually
That's
See,
one
we're so
thing,
awesome. We
so-
brought a European to North America.
Yeah.
So
But they have
we've
they
got-
have an American.
True.
Shut
They
up. That's a bad
Yeah,
point.
But they don't have Cinderin. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
is that is
That's
true.
a missing component. It's a big hole in there.
Is Just Brohard the only American they have over there? Do they have?
Is
Who else
Lumi
do
not
they have?
American?
Oh, yeah, all right, Lumi. But he's stationed in Europe right now. They
That's
didn't.
cool.
Again, they're stationed in Europe right now. They're
No,
like.
if they,
I
if
count
they've
them
been
as like a
stationed there,
European caster.
they're not
They're
Americans
living-
anymore.
Well,
If they
they're
don't want to
still
live in
American.
America,
As soon
they're
as
not
they
Americans.
leave,
Absolutely
they're
not. I
Come on,
refuse
man.
to believe
you
it.
you sign on to an EU studio. You're
If
part
you,
of the
no,
EU,
if,
man.
if you don't eat Jack in the Box once a week, you are not an American. That's my book.
I've legit only had like Jack in the
All right,
Box once.
just let's end
Sorry
this.
So
about
you were
that,
American
buddy.
for 1 week.
No.
That's cool. It's okay.
I'm bad.
How is
I'm
that?
bad.
Oh, yeah, you're
He's-
Canadian.
I'm not even
Yeah, okay,
American.
you're forgiven. Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
Get with America.
Yeah.
I've got to get on that level, dude.
All right, speaking of that, I need to go get some ultimate cheeseburgers right now.
You do?
How ultimate are they?
Jack in the Box. They're pretty. Yeah,
Jack
they're
in the
good.
Pretty
Box.
ultimate.
They're
Are
good.
they like Arcana? Like
They're. I would say they're the Arcana
Such a nerd.
of the
Conrad.
Jack in the Box, for sure, for sure.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh boy.
All right, boys. Well, this was an absolute pleasure. Your Twitter's just popped up on the stream, so expect a couple of new follows.
Oh my.
I'm so popular.
Do we want to go around and do plugs? Do you guys have anything to plug? Dota
Right.
Cinema.
Follow at Quantum Pope. He's the newest member of Dota Cinema. I'm gonna be casting with him instead of this guy.
Oh no.
Because
I-
I've just
I-
had enough.
Hey, that's less work for me. That's fine. If you want. That's
You want to
fine.
take over production stuff then? Oh, sweet.
Oh, this
Thanks,
guy in
dude.
So you
production?
don't want me to do anything then? Okay, that's excellent.
That's pretty much my job, dude. Shout outs to Roland
perfect,
and the
perfect.
and Brian doing the production for this.
Except for them, they're awesome.
Yeah, these guys are awesome.
Shout out to the producers. Producer bias.
They actually do work, dude. Unlike you guys.
Hey, I've
Yeah.
got a tablet and some papers here. I'm reading things and.
I clicked on a couple links, so I don't know.
Yeah,
It's
he's
pretty
our
cool.
he's our computer
Yeah,
operator.
you're actually
over
already
there.
better than
Our-
Conrad would
our,
have been. Alright, I'm done.
All right, guys, that's part 1 of episode 9 of In the Studio. We'll have a quick break, and we'll have some new guests joining us. AC Fear, and who's the other one? Oh yeah, K-pop Toasters. He's gonna be coming on.
Look at that
And,
handsome man.
yeah, look at that handsome man. We'll get a little bit of that southern twang coming
He's
on
smiling,
here,
you
guys.
can't
So
wait.
don't go anywhere. Plenty more In the Studio coming up next.